So this is my fourth attempt of trying to record a video, but I've just been getting tongue twisted, and so I'm not making sense, and I feel like I'm not getting my message across. But today I really wanted to talk about the art of learning to say no to things. And yesterday, I know I talked about learning to do hard things and learning to have the courage, or building that courage muscle and building that resilience muscle to do the things that you don't want to do but that you know will benefit you in the long run. But today I want to talk about the art of learning to say no to things that they're not going to necessarily benefit you in the long run. And instead of saying no, you always say yes, and then you burn yourself out. So I'm the kind of person, if you know me closely, I'm the kind of person that if you say the word adventure, and you say, for example, a friend comes up to me and she's like, do you want to go on an adventure? Let's go out for a hike, or let's go out for a nature walk. I'd be like, heck yes, even though I'm not dressed, or I'm in my pajamas or something like that. If she says the word adventure, or somebody says, let's go explore, I'm the kind of person that's like, heck yes, let's do it. Because I love adventure, I love exploring, I love being curious about my world, I love everything that has to do with just being curious. But there are times where I just don't want to be curious, and I just don't want to go on an adventure, and I just don't want to explore. I just want to stay home and be lazy. And today was one of those days when I just wanted to be lazy. I just wanted to stay home. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to read, be by myself, and just relax. And one of my friends, she texted me and she was like, hey, do you want to come over to my place? And the old me would say yes, even though I wasn't feeling up for it. I would have said yes, the old me. But the new me, or the ever-changing and evolving me, is learning to say no to things that I really don't want to do. Because I really just wanted to relax and be by myself today and, do nothing. And plus, I wasn't feeling well this morning because I had a huge migraine. And so I just wasn't feeling up for it. But the old me, even though I wouldn't have been feeling well, I would have totally gone to her place and just hung out, even though I wasn't feeling like it. So that would have been the old me. But the ever-evolving new me, the ever-changing new me, is learning to say no. And I know yesterday I was talking about learning to do the hard things and doing hard things that you know will benefit you in the long run. But today I want to talk about having the courage to say no to things that your own body is telling you, you know what, maybe let's relax for today, or maybe let's not buy that item because you don't need it, or maybe let's not go out and eat junk food because it just won't sit well in your system. And just really listening to your body and learning to say no to certain whims and certain spontaneous things. And don't get me wrong, it's important to get out of your comfort zone and explore and be curious and go on adventures, but it's also equally important to ground yourself. And I think you can't fall into any one extreme, You can't fall into the extreme of always saying yes and yes and yes to everything. And you can't fall into the other extreme of always saying no and no and no and no and no, closing yourself off to everything. So you have to find this balance. And I'm learning to become more balanced in that area of my life. I'm learning to become more balanced in that area where, well, I take that back. I'm learning to listen to my body. And usually when you sit with yourself and you really listen to yourself in the silence, I think your body is able to speak up for you. Your body is able to tell you what's going on, whether that be how you're feeling physically or how you're feeling emotionally. If you're really on, and this goes back to being honest with yourself, and this goes back to doing the hard things, because it's really hard to be honest with yourself. If you're really honest with yourself, your body will give you the answer. Should I do this? Should I not do this? Or how am I feeling today? Oh, I'm feeling a lot of shame inside of me, or I'm feeling a lot of guilt, or I'm feeling anxiety. My heart is pumping, and just observing that. But what I'm trying to say, because that's gonna go off, I'm gonna go off on a tangent, and that's a different topic. Well, it's related, but that could be a 30-minute video. But it's listening to your body. And what I'm trying to say is listening to your intuition. That's really what I'm trying to say, because there have been moments where I've done some spontaneous activities, but before doing those spontaneous activities that sound totally crazy, I kind of have I just need 2 minutes of silence I just need 2 minutes of silence for myself. I need to be alone for 2 minutes and ask myself, will I be okay? And sometimes my body will say yes. My intuition will say yes. You're gonna be okay, go for it, girl. Sometimes my body will say, no, be careful. Be careful of that. Don't do it. Be careful. And it's a skill. Being able to tap into your own intuition is a skill, and is something that I'm still learning, and I'm still not perfect at, but I'm learning to listen to my body more. But I was reading a book called The Gift of Fear, and this was a while ago, but basically the author was talking about how your subconscious mind picks up a lot of information that your conscious mind doesn't quickly pick up. For example, if I'm interacting with a guy, consciously I could be picking up, his facial expressions, or, he's good looking, or, he's very animated when he talks. But subconsciously, my body, my subconscious is working in the background. It's picking up little micro behaviors, and it's picking up little inconsistencies here and there, or even consistencies. And the book was basically talking about learning to listen to your body and not ignoring the gift of fear, which is the title of the book. I really recommend it to all women and men too. But basically, it's just tapping into your body, and sometimes we get caught up in what if I'm just being afraid, or what if I'm just being distrustful of this person? But if you really sit with yourself, and this goes back to being honest with yourself, right? If you really sit with yourself and you're honest with yourself, and you're like, okay, I don't really trust this person. Why is that? You just sit with yourself, not trying to look for answers, but just sitting with your body. Sometimes, yes, it's you overreacting, and sometimes there's something out there that just seems off. You can't point your finger on it, but it just seems off. And it's important to listen to that voice, is what I'm trying to say. And okay, I know I went on a tangent right now about, being authentic, and of course all of this is related, but what I'm trying to say with learning to say no is that if you're honest with yourself, and if you're honest with how you feel right now in this moment, you'll usually get an honest answer. If you put aside your fear and you just try, and sometimes it's really hard, but try and sit with yourself as objectively as possible. You just sit with yourself. Okay, fear, can you take a step back? Or, or just observe the fear. Not taking a step, not telling the fear to take a step back, but observing the fear. Why is it there? Is it an irrational fear or is it a rational fear? Because there are rational fears. Or, when it comes to not doing something that you don't want to do, is it because you're being lazy or is it because you really aren't feeling well and you just need to listen to your body? And so I hope you listen to your body. I hope you listen to your intuition, and I'm learning that myself. And I don't pretend to know all the answers or be perfect at listening to my intuition. I'm nowhere near that, and I screw up many times, and I have many times, but I'm trying. And that's what I wanted to talk about today. And these videos really help me put my thoughts in order and just compartmentalize my thoughts. And it's more for me, really. It's more for me to see what I'm thinking and how my thought process works. And speaking out loud allows me, and watching these videos again after I have recorded them allows me to see how my thought process is going. So anyway, that's a completely different topic, but I hope you're doing okay. If anybody's watching this, if not, I hope I'm doing okay, which I am. Just feeling a little nauseous today, bit of a migraine this morning, terrible, but I'm hanging in there. I hope you are too. Peace and love.